Welcome to this week's edition of Post Race Reddit, where every single week I go through the NASCAR Reddit page, post race discussion, look at everyone's comments, then I pick out my favorite comments, and then I comment on those comments. Also, if you don't want your comments used on these videos, please let me know, and I will no longer use your comments on these videos. I'm hoping that these videos become big enough that way I can make my own Reddit page and get comments, just people suggesting comments, and then I will use those going forward. But for now, we're doing this. All right, let's begin to check out some of these comments. All right, let's see what we got up first. This first one is Fella TM. SVG is just such an insanely likable dude. He is. He is. He's insanely likable. He's always happy. He's always joyful. No matter what happens in the race, like obviously he got second today, but even if he wrecks out or this or that, if they interview him, he always just has a smile on his face, and he'll just finish it up with like, "Well, I had a good time. I had fun." He always just has a smile on his face. I think he's one of the few people out there that doesn't take for granted what he has. He's lucky to be a NASCAR driver. He's lucky to be a race car driver in general. He clearly has a passion for it, and he just makes the most of every day, it seems like. Such a likable guy, always shows his personality, always seems like he's just having fun. Yeah, I freaking love SVG. This one is from Cody Mac 8. Bubba Wallace P11 Dakota. We did it. And it's him celebrating at Kansas. I think it's when he celebrated his win at Kansas. I think that's what that GIF is from. That's I obviously screenshotted that so you don't see the GIF. But yeah, Bubba Wallace is not a great road course racer, but over the last year or two, I've definitely seen him improve quite a bit. And he got 11th today. I ran top 15, top 20 a good amount of the day, but started to move up a little bit near the end. Ended up getting an 11th place finish. A great start of the year for Bubba overall. Finished top 10 in the first 10 races. First two races, I meant to say. And then got 11th today, finishing second in points. But yet he's 70 points back of the points leader, his teammate Tyler Reddick. I loved him walking onto the front stretch, by the way, too. I don't know if any of y'all saw that video that 2311 posted, and he's walking down the front stretch, walking to Tyler Reddick, looking at Tyler Reddick. He's like, "I'm really fucking tired of you winning all the time." That was great. I loved it. This one is from Jim Jam 916. Connor Zilic is a wheelman. Top 15 after that spin is crazy. After two spins, Zilic spun out twice. Once he got spun out by Suarez, and then once he got spun out by, well, not Zane Smith. It was more Denny Hamlin, but Zane Smith's the one that ended up making the contact, but Denny Hamlin's the one that caused all of it. But yeah, he started outside the top 20, drove up to the top 10, got wrecked, drove back up to the top 10, got wrecked again, and then drove up for a 14th place finish. Zilic is going to win a race this year. He's going to win one of these road course races this year, and by the end of the year, he's going to be competing for wins on ovals. I don't think he'll win an oval this year, but he'll be competing for sure. This one is from Tosagamuzo. Definitely mispronounced that. The person at Chumba Casino who signed up with 2311 needs an absolute giant raise. What an insane return on investment they must be getting. For sure. Chumba Casino also won the Brickyard with Bubba Wallace last year. They won the 500. They got featured on Monday Night Raw. And then they won today. I'm recording this on Sunday night, by the way. They won. Freaking insane by Chumba Casino. And right now, I think I said the same thing last week, but McDonald's and Monster Energy with the Beast Unleashed, they must be kicking themselves right now because McDonald's no longer in NASCAR at all. That's why Hardee's is now with Bubba Wallace. And then Monster's gone too. So Chumba Casino getting their money's worth for sure. Looks like the Pug is bringing the law this week. Law Pug for the third straight week on the show. And classic meme here. Yeah, the Toyotas at 2311 are just killing it. What a start of the year for 2311 Racing. First and second in points. Tyler Reddick with 3 straight wins. Obviously, Herbst had his top 10 in the Daytona 500. Other than that, Herbst really hasn't done much. But Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, great start of the year for 23XI Racing. This one is from Swick36. Zilich about to never take the outside in turn one again. I would agree. He got spun out the first time by Suarez. He was kind of more in the middle. And Zilich looked like, I don't know if anybody noticed it, but Zilich to me looked like he almost approached turn one when he ended up getting wrecked the second time with a touch of PTSD, because everybody was 3 wide, 2 wide, pretty close. And Zilich is like way off to the right, just giving everybody all the room he possibly could give. He was the furthest to the right going into turn one, and he still got wrecked because Hamlin ended up, I forget who Hamlin got into, but Hamlin got into someone, and then they got into Zane Smith, and then Zane Smith ended up taking out Zilich because of that, and Zilich still ended up driving back to a top 15. This one is from Yep 24. Fox just refuses to show post-race point standings. I think people are getting more and more loud about this. I have said this every week. I was really pissed after the Daytona 500 because they didn't update even the website for hours. Like NASCAR.com wasn't updated for hours. They've been really good the last 2 weeks about updating the point standings. But Fox need to show the point standings. Points actually matter. CW's doing it. CW's doing it. Why can't you do it? So yeah, I think if we continue to be loud about them not showing the point standings post-race, I think they will eventually show them. I don't know why they're not. It's kind of frustrating. This one is Darth Lordy the Wise. I like that name, by the way. Has a little Star Wars to it. Has a little Lord of the Rings. It's super nerd freaking username. I would make this username, even though I'm not really necessarily a Lord of the Rings guy. Tyler Reddick wins. Smash cut to Allmendinger fucking dying. Yeah, that was nutty. And they didn't say anything either. I ended up finding out later just because I kept on updating Twitter, or X, I should say. Kept on updating that. I still call it Twitter. I kept on updating that. And it looked like he just had some IVs put in. He had a big bandage on his arm, talking to Matt Collig and Chris Rice. He posted a picture on his X. But to Tyler Reddick's in the middle of talking, and then they cut to AJ Allmendinger, who's just laying on the ground, like almost looking lifeless, with a bunch of people surrounding him and a bunch of people rushing in. They cut to it a second time with more people rushing in. Then the third time they cut to him, he was on a stretcher. That one made me a little more confident. Seeing him on the stretcher kind of sitting up made me think that, I think he's just extremely dehydrated and just needing some fluids, and that's what it ended up being. But I don't know. That was wild by Fox. If you're going to do that, at least say something about it afterwards. Don't need to necessarily interrupt Reddick's interview to say something, but at least say something. Yeah, I didn't get that. That was wild. That was wild. There was a lot of comments on that, by the way. There was a lot of that was probably the most commented thing on the post-race discussion, was them showing Dinger. This one is from Duddy33. You got to admit, getting out of the race car and walking down pit road with the cane is pretty fucking cool. For sure. Pimp Keselowski looked really cool out there. He had the cane before the race. He had the cane after the race. He had Joey Hand on top of the pit box, but he didn't need him. He didn't need him. He ran the whole race. Joey Hand probably would have gave the 6 car a better finish, and I don't think that's because Brad was hurt per se. It's just because Brad, in my opinion, isn't all that great of a road course racer. He's good at He's pretty good at Watkins Glen, but other Watkins Glen, he's not necessarily a great road course racer. But I respect the crap out of him for racing that whole race. He was clearly, I would guess, had to be in some sort of discomfort, maybe not pain, but at least some sort of discomfort in that event. And for him to race the whole entire race without having Joey Hand needed to come in, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And Pimp Keselowski is here to stay. This one is from Subject Treat 8034. Mike Joy made it sound like Hocevar's car was fucking split in half and sent into the grandstands. MFR scared me half to death. Yeah, he was doing his best WWE impression. It's like, through the table, watch out, watch out, watch out. Like, that's Mike Joy, that's the loudest Mike Joy and most hype Mike Joy's gotten in a while. I think it's because mainly it was on the front straightaway. He was probably worried that it was going to either end the race or potentially someone was going to run into him, like one of the leaders or something. But yeah, Mike Joy, yeah, jump scare. I saw a lot of comments on this as well. Mike Joy went off when Hocevar wrecked on the front straightaway. I don't think we ever really saw, I don't think we even got shown. I might be wrong. I might have missed it. Let me know in the comments what it was if you ended up seeing it. But I don't even think they showed why Hocevar did that. Did he spin on his own? Did he get help? I'm not sure. And the last one we got today is from Jumpy Dentist 5405. MJ is the best thing NASCAR could have asked for. To have him so invested in this and genuinely excited about it is huge. MJ was never this involved even when he owned the Hornets. I agree. He wasn't very involved when he owned the Hornets or the Bobcats, depending on what you want to call. They're obviously the Hornets now, but he owned them mainly when they were the Charlotte Bobcats. And that's also because they sucked. They were really bad. They were the worst team in the league pretty much every year. But yeah, he's so involved. He's so hyped. He likes competing, and him winning 3 in a row with the race team is freaking awesome. He was pumped down pit road, gave the interview to Jamie Little, and right after he finished the interview with Jamie Little, he started jogging. He started doing a little light jog to get to the front straightaway. So he's very pumped. I've seen a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos. There's almost like a viral picture of him high-fiving somebody on pit road with the sunglasses on. Just, I'm so happy to have Michael Jordan part of this sport, y'all. Like, he's so great for the sport. He has a big passion for it. I like how he's actually giving out interviews. He seems very fond of Jamie Little because he always gives Jamie Little an interview. That was a great interview at the end of the race. Once again, Jamie Little is the best pit reporter we have in NASCAR right now. I've said this many times. Best pit reporter in NASCAR. And just awesome to have Michael Jordan part of this sport, winning 3 straight races. It sounded like he wasn't originally planning to go to Phoenix Raceway next week, but it sounds like now that he will go to see if Reddick gets 4 in a row or if Bubba can win. Bubba's pretty good at Phoenix. I can see Bubba winning at Phoenix. Just awesome. Awesome to have Michael Jordan be so invested into our sport right now. Once again, very similar to the end of the Daytona 500. Posts are coming in from all across of the sports world and pop culture in general, congratulating and giving props to Michael Jordan, to Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick's almost becoming a household name outside of NASCAR just because of these last couple of weeks, which is completely nutty. Just nutty. This is awesome. All right, that will do it for this week's edition of post-race Reddit, post-race of Circuit of the Americas, the Duramax Grand Prix. Next week, we head to Phoenix Raceway. I'm hoping to have this video out around the same time as I usually do, which is usually really early Monday morning. But I will be at Phoenix Raceway, so maybe not. We'll have to see. But I appreciate anybody who watched this video. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts of the race at COTA. Please like, follow, and subscribe. But for now, I'm Trackside Larry saying peace.